All the way from Division II, Lewis University, to this past season, starting 18 playoff games for the Miami Heat. We welcome Max Strus. Thanks for sitting down with FanSided today.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I want to start at the beginning today because I think it's so interesting. There's actually a bunch of notable NBA names that spent time at D2 schools like Earl DePearl, George Gervin, Scottie Pippen, and actually a bunch more. What was your story out of high school, and how did so many schools miss on you?
Yeah, I kind of grew late. I didn't really play AAU basketball. I was a baseball player. So, going into my junior year of high school, I was only like 6', 6'1". And then, after that junior year, I kind of hit a growth spurt and started growing my body more and, really started to take basketball more serious. So I think I just, not playing in the summers on a high profile AAU team and then, kind of growing late just kind of, put me at a disadvantage. But, and then once I got to college, I kept growing too. So that it kind of just happened late and everything just kind of hit all at once. But I love, how my story ended up and, how I ended up where I was, going out of high school. And, it's created this chip on my shoulder that's kind of led me to where I am now.
Any baseball skills translate to basketball at this point, or?
I haven't played in a while, but I loved playing baseball. I just ultimately picked basketball because baseball was just a little too boring for me. So, basketball, turned out to be, a good avenue. But, I think if I took baseball serious, I think I'd still be able to, play at a high level.
I bet. Until you signed with the Heat, the majority of your life had been spent in Chicago, where you grew up, went to two colleges, you even spent time with the Bulls.
Yeah.
Did you like a Chicago sports hero? Who'd you look up to?
I'd say Derrick Rose was probably my, highlight of my, young, childhood. Those Bulls teams with him, even Jimmy Butler on those teams, growing up watching them was special. I was like in 8th grade or high school when that was going on. And, Derrick Rose just being from Chicago and, playing for the hometown team, I always had respect for him. And, he was a superstar and somebody I always looked up to and admired.
Is there a moment that sticks out from his career in Chicago?
It's just those playoff runs. It's his MVP season. Just watching him was amazing. I actually watched him when he was in high school too. I went to one of his games. So to be able to see him, in high school and then see him play for the Bulls was really cool. And, for myself to have that experience too, to relate upon, I know what it feels like. And obviously, he was at a higher level than me and won an MVP. So I couldn't even imagine doing that in your hometown. And, I think the 3-point buzzer beater he hit against LeBron in the playoffs when he banked off the backboard was always, go down in history as one of the, the best Bulls moments. So I'll always remember that one for sure.
Was it Simi in high school, I think?
Simi, yep.
Have you had to guard him yet in the NBA?
Yeah, I've played against him a couple times. We actually have the same trainer back home, so I've gotten to know him really well. And it's always cool to be in the same gym. And he's a true veteran now and somebody who's been through a bunch in his career. So to be able to pick his brain and kind of rely on him as a vet has been really cool. And just his story is inspirational. So to be able to relate to him and bounce ideas off of him and learn from him has been monumental in my career.
It might not have been Derrick, but everyone has a welcome to the NBA moment, even if they don't want to admit it. Do you remember yours?
It really hasn't happened in any games. I think mine was, kind of my first year here in Miami was a bit of a learning experience, being able to, be around a true competitor like Jimmy Butler. He kind of took me under his wing from day one. And, we pretty much played one-on-one every single day my first year here. So he's brutally just, beat me every single time and kind of just, put me in my place. So, but, playing against guys like that is only going to make you better. So I thank him for that. And, I think it's helped guide me to where I am now. And, he's definitely he definitely gave me my welcome to the NBA, just, basically schooling me on one-on-one, basically my rookie year with the Heat.
Any specific stories you can share without getting in trouble?
He just basically made me feel like I was a little kid. He's just like unbelievable, human being. He's just so strong and just knows how to play the game and is just a really smart basketball player. So he just made me feel like I had never played before. Honestly, it kind of just put me in my place and humbled me very much that he kind of just bullied me and just he has no, he's not very nice when it comes to that stuff. He's going to win and do whatever it takes to win. So he wasn't going to, take it easy on me in any aspect.
Be honest. Can he pull off the long hair?
No, that was terrible. No, that was a bad look for him. It was funny, but I don't think he should bring that back anytime soon.
Well said. Well said. So far in the NBA, you've been known as a shooter. Hit 41% of your threes last season. Having good vision is monumentally important to shooting, obviously,
Yeah.
as well as muscle memory. Can you tell us about Evo and how it works and how it's helped you?
Yeah, for sure. I got the procedure done probably about 2.5 months ago. I've struggled with my vision since about like the fifth grade, and my whole family has had vision problems. So, growing up, I always wanted to, find a way to, find a new avenue to not have to worry about putting contacts in every morning and taking them out at night. So, there was always the idea of LASIK, but as soon as I was doing some research and found out about Evo, I knew this is something I had to get done and something I wanted to get done. So, it's a permanent lens that's implanted by a doctor into your eyes. It kind of takes away the stress of putting in contacts every morning and just makes life easier by just always being able to see. And I haven't looked back since. My vision is 2010, so it's kind of like a superhuman strength and just opened up everything and made everything more clear. And it's been an unbelievable experience so far.
Do you think it's made you a better shooter?
I think it's helped for sure. I don't know if I'm not going to rely on that to make me a better shooter. That comes with work and putting in hours in the gym and, putting in the time to, kind of mold that path to being a great shooter. But, just another competitive advantage that can only help, being able to see more clear, being able to see better. It can't hurt. It's only going to make me better. So I definitely, looked for that this summer and wanted to get something done. And I think this could really help.
We touched on your shooting a couple times. Is there any other facet of your game you worked hard on this offseason?
Yeah, I think, if you watch the playoffs, I think, in that Boston series, they did a good job of guarding me and, kind of taking me off the 3-point line and making me go inside the paint. So, I kind of took that as a learning experience. And, this summer really worked on, putting the ball on the floor and getting better at making decisions, whether that be finishing at the rim in the mid range or making plays for my teammates. So, just got comfortable, with doing that and getting downhill and not just being, one dimensional. So I think I really stressed upon that throughout the off season and did a good job with my trainers and, whoever I was working with to really stress upon that and get better at it.
You mentioned that playoff series. You had the pleasure, I guess I'll say, of playing in both Philly and Boston in the postseason.
Yeah.
What were those crowds like?
They were great. I've really never even seen anything like it. It's really fun. They're really passionate fans and love their team in both of those cities, and probably were two of the best venues and fans that I've ever been a part of. They really love their team and they'll do anything to try to get you out of your game by saying anything or doing anything. So it was pretty eye-opening, the things that people would say to you. And but at the end of the day, they're just passionate about their team. But it was truly fun to play in both of those arenas and, an experience that I'll never forget, just to play in the Garden and, Wells Fargo there in Philly and, two good teams too that, one we were able to knock off and one, got the best of us. But those were two great venues to play at.
Was one more intimidating than the other?
I wouldn't say intimidating, but I'd say the Philly fans were more ruthless. They'll say whatever to you as you're walking up the court. So, they really believe in their team. Boston got loud, and I think they do a good job of, keeping faith in their team and really loving their players. So it's cool to see and just it's awesome for sports to have fans like that.
That's awesome. I'm from Philadelphia, so I take that as a
Oh,
compliment. We are insane, and I will own it. So Udonis Haslem came back for what looks to be his final NBA season with you guys, at least as a player. What does he mean to Heat culture, and what does he bring to your locker room?
yeah, he is the definition of Heat culture. We all look up to him. He's been doing this for 20 years. He's been a part of this organization forever. So, he's been through losing seasons. He's won championships. He's started, he's not played. He's been a bench guy. He's gone through every experience possible. So to be able to have that veteran presence in our locker room, to be able to, understand whatever situation anybody is in, really helps us and guides each guy along their career, and just makes everything flow and work more easily. So having him in our locker room is huge, and I don't know what we would do without him. Honestly, he is the definition of Heat culture, and everybody looks to him in times of struggle, and he guides us through a lot of those situations.
I imagine he has the last word at a lot of practices.
Well, for sure, for sure. Yeah, he's trying to, push the younger guys to be more leaders, push their leadership role, and guys like Bam and Tyler and myself and Gabe Vincent. He's kind of helping us implement our versions of leadership, and kind of show us the ropes. And I'm going to be extremely grateful for him because he's going to make huge strides in my career, which he already has done.
I'm curious. Everyone talks about Heat culture and just the environment there. It all starts with Pat Riley, though. How much do you actually see Pat? Is he around? Does he stop into practice? Have you ever talked to him?
He's there every single day. He's at practice every single day. He's always around. So he's more than willing to, give you advice, or, just, shoot whatever, just talk to him about anything. He's been through all the experiences as well. So, he's always around. He's got stories for days, of just things that he's been through. So it's always fun to talk to him and, kind of pick his brain on things he's been through. But, to be able to have, a president and ownership that's involved, it speaks volumes to, the place that we're at in the organization that they run here. So, just to have his presence, and just it shows how much he cares about our team and wants us to win, for him to be around every single day.
We'll move to two last off the court things real quick. Is it possible that you're not the most athletic person in your family?
Ooh, that's a great question. I gotta think I am now, but growing up, I think it was my sister. Honestly, she was a Division I volleyball player, and could jump out of the gym, and she was an unbelievable athlete that ended up playing Division I volleyball. So I think me and my brother understand that she was probably the best athlete out of all of us. But I think I got her now. Being able to play a professional sport, and to be doing this for my living.
Your parents are pretty athletic too, correct?
Yeah. My mom is played basketball and volleyball at DePaul. She's actually in the Hall of Fame, and then my dad was a baseball player in college. So to be able to have parents that played sports and understand, the side of things of, taking care of your body, and just to, have them understand what it's like to be an athlete has been huge for my development.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the last thing I have, I spent a lot of time in Chicago this summer. Got to know the food scene pretty well. When you go back home, what's one meal you have to get?
Portillo's. That's my go-to.
Italian beef or what?
Anything there is good. It's not great food, so try not to eat too much of it. But it's my go-to stop. And then I actually got my own sandwich this year at a hometown sub shop called Peppo's. So along with getting this new surgery on my eyes, that was another great thing that happened to me this year. And all things are pointing north, and things are going great.
Awesome. Well, Max, on behalf of Evo, thank you for sitting down with us today, and best of luck in the upcoming NBA season.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.